Tony Robbins served food to the people of Palestine every single day. A child goes to bed hungry in Palestine, not because they chose it, not because they did something wrong, but because the world turned its back. This isn't about politics. This is about people, about human lives, about mothers who have nothing to feed their children but silence and prayer, about fathers who break down because they can't provide, about children who grow up too fast because war stole their childhood. And I can't sit back. I won't. You see, we live in a world where millions waste food, while millions more starve. That is not a resource problem. That's a heart problem, so I made a decision. I will serve. I will serve food, not speeches. I will serve dignity, not pity. I will serve action, not excuses. To the people of Palestine, I see you, I hear you. And I will show up for you, not with noise, with nourishment, not with words, with water, with bread, with life, because what we do for ourselves dies with us, but what we do for others, that lives forever. You don't have to be a billionaire to serve. You just need to care enough to act. You just need to hurt enough to move. You just need to love enough to show up. This is not charity. This is humanity. And if serving food means bringing a moment of peace to a broken family, then that is worth more than all the applause in the world. My mission is simple: feed those who are forgotten, stand with those who are suffering, and remind the world, these are not numbers, these are people. Serve with me, stand with them. Let's feed not just their bodies, but their hope, because love is not what we say, it's what we serve. And today, I choose to serve Palestine. When we talk about Palestine, the conversation often gets hijacked by politics, by debates, divisions, and opinions. But here's the truth. While leaders argue, while media spins narratives, real people are dying. Children are going to bed without food. Families are digging through rubble, searching for loved ones. Mothers are watching their babies starve, and fathers are breaking under the weight of helplessness. This isn't a political crisis anymore. It's a human crisis. You don't need a political stance to feel compassion. You don't need to choose a side to choose kindness. Pain has no nationality. Hunger has no religion. Suffering has no border. This is about humanity, about recognizing that every person, regardless of where they were born or what flag they live under, deserves food, shelter, safety, and dignity. When we allow politics to cloud our hearts, we become blind to the suffering in front of us. But when we choose to see people, not as political pawns, but as fathers, daughters, sons, and mothers, we begin to heal the world. I'm not here to debate. I'm here to deliver food, to serve hope, to bring light where there's been too much darkness. Because when a child cries from hunger, they don't cry in Hebrew or Arabic. They cry in pain, and it is our duty as humans to answer that cry, not with opinion, but with action. Humanity must always come before politics. Always. Let this be the moment we put people before power. Let this be the time we choose compassion over conflict. Let this be the call to rise, not for a side, but for a soul. Because at the end of the day, politics divide us. But humanity can unite us all. Words are powerful. Speeches can inspire. But words without action are empty. Hope without help is just noise. In Palestine, people don't need more statements. They don't need promises, policies, or press conferences. They need food, they need water, they need relief. Now, we live in a world where it's easy to say the right things, to post a hashtag, to share a quote. But change doesn't happen through clicks. It happens through commitment. Through sacrifice, through showing up again and again, even when no one's watching. Real impact is putting food into the hands of a starving child, not just talking about hunger. It's bringing water to a family that hasn't had clean drinking water in days, not just tweeting about injustice. Action changes lives. Action feeds souls. Action saves futures. Talk creates awareness. But action creates change. You see, intention without execution is just imagination. You can mean well, but if you don't move, people stay hungry. If you don't act, people stay in pain. That's why I'm not here to sound good. I'm here to do good, serve food, give time, show up. That's how we shift the world. You don't need to solve everything. You just need to do something. Because a small act, like handing someone a plate of food, might feel simple to you, but it could mean survival to them. It could mean hope. It could mean the world. So stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. The moment is now, and the world is waiting. Talk less, do more. Let your love be felt, not just heard. Let your compassion be seen, not just spoken. Because true impact comes from your hands, not just your mouth. And when we all start moving, when we all start serving, that's when the world truly begins to heal. This is not charity. This is not about feeling sorry for someone, writing a check, and walking away feeling good about yourself. This is about empathy. This is about humanity. Charity says, let me help you because I have more. Empathy says, I help you because I see myself in you. We are all human. We all bleed the same. We all feel hunger, fear, love, and pain. The only difference between us and those suffering in Palestine is circumstance. They were born there, we were born here. That's not superiority, that's geography. What would you do if your child hadn't eaten for 2 days? What would you do if your house was turned to rubble in seconds? What would you do if your entire life was reduced to survival? Would you not hope, pray, that someone out there saw you, cared for you, remembered you? That is why we serve, not out of pity, but out of solidarity. This is not us helping them. This is us standing with them, shoulder to shoulder, heart to heart. When you look into the eyes of a mother in Palestine who's lost everything, you don't see a stranger. You see a mother just like yours, just like you. Empathy doesn't ask what's the right side. It asks what is the right thing to do. And the right thing is to show up, to care, to feed, to hold. To love, you don't have to understand every detail of their story to feel their pain. You just have to listen with your heart. You just have to let your humanity speak louder than your opinions. This world doesn't need more judgment. It needs more mercy, more grace, more connection, and when we choose empathy, we remind each other of a deeper truth. We are not separate, we are one. So don't serve from a pedestal, serve from a place of love. Not to be seen, not to be praised, but because your heart won't let you stay silent. This is not about charity. This is about choosing to be human in the face of suffering. And there is nothing more powerful than that. You don't need to be a millionaire. You don't need a platform. You don't need to have thousands of followers or a headline-making name to change someone's life. You just need to care enough to act. We often think making a difference requires something big, building hospitals, funding organizations, leading movements. But sometimes the most powerful change starts with the smallest act. A piece of bread to someone who's starving. A warm blanket to a child in the cold. A bottle of clean water in a place where there's none. These aren't grand gestures, but to the one receiving them, they are everything. When you're in pain, it's not the size of the help that matters. It's the fact that someone showed up. That someone saw you. That someone cared enough to do something. It's easy to feel powerless when you see suffering. Easy to believe your part is too small to matter. But the truth is, every ripple creates a wave. Every kind word, every meal shared, every act of service adds up. And when millions of small acts come together, that's how the world changes. You might not feed a whole country, but you can feed one family. You might not rebuild a city, but you can rebuild someone's hope. You might not stop the war, but you can be a moment of peace in someone's chaos. Don't wait until you have more. Start with what you have. $1 an hour, a hand, a voice, whatever you've got, give it, because it's not about how much you give. It's about how much heart you put into it. So the next time you think, I'm just one person, remember this, to someone out there, your one act may be their only lifeline. The world doesn't need more giants. It needs more people willing to do small things with big love, and if we all did that, we wouldn't just make a difference, we'd make a miracle. We talk about love like it's a feeling. Like it's just words we say, but real love, true love is action. Love is not just something you feel, it's something you do. It's how you show up for people when they're at their lowest. It's how you give not because you have to, but because you can't imagine not giving. Love is service. When you feed someone who's hungry, you're not just giving them food. You're giving them hope. You're saying you are not forgotten. You're giving them dignity. You're saying you deserve to be seen and cared for. You're giving them solidarity. You're saying you're not alone in this. In a world that's hurting, Service is the loudest form of love, not romantic love, not surface-level sympathy, but deep, sacrificial, powerful love that says, "Your pain is my responsibility. Your hunger matters to me. Your life is worthy of my time." Service strips away ego. It tears down walls. It reminds us that we are all connected. When you serve someone, you don't stand above them. You stand with them. You kneel beside them. You share your table. You say, "What's mine is yours," because what matters to you matters to me. You don't need to say, "I love you," to prove your heart. You just need to feed the hungry, comfort the broken, lift the fallen, because that's love. Love is in the hands that cook meals for strangers. Love is in the feet that walk miles to deliver help. Love is in the eyes that look past race, religion, and borders, and just see a human in need. So let your love be seen, let it be heard, let it be felt through service. Because when you serve, you don't just meet a need, you awaken the heart of the world, and in that moment, you don't just give love. You become it. 6. Silence the noise with compassion. Let love speak louder than politics, hate, or fear. The world is loud, loud with blame, loud with anger, loud with division. But in that noise, compassion is the only voice that truly matters. When we serve, we quiet the chaos. We remind the world that there is still goodness, still humanity, still people who care enough to love without conditions. You don't need to shout. You don't need to prove your point. You just need to show up, with compassion in your hands and love in your actions, because service doesn't argue, it heals. It doesn't ask which side you're on. It asks who needs help right now. Let your kindness be louder than their hatred. Let your service be stronger than their silence. Let your love break through the noise. 7. Be the light in someone's darkness. Even a small spark can save a life. In the darkest places on earth. It takes only a small light to make a difference. When people lose their homes, their families, their sense of safety, they also lose something even more painful: hope. And that's where you come in. Not as a hero, but as a human being with a heart that refuses to let someone suffer alone. You may think a meal is small, but to someone starving it's a miracle. You may think your presence is ordinary, but to someone abandoned it's a lifeline. You are the light, and that light, your love, your service, your compassion, can pierce through any darkness. So don't underestimate what you can do, because when you bring light to others, you don't just change their life, you change yours too. If this message moved your heart, if you believe in standing for humanity, not just watching from the sidelines, then don't just scroll, don't just listen, act like this video. Subscribe to the channel, not for numbers, not for fame, but because every click, every share, every voice helps. Spread truth. It helps us serve more, love louder, and reach the people who need us most. Join this mission, be part of the movement, because together, we're not just making noise, we're making a difference.